We're live.
I did that the other day with Austin. I don't know what I played.
It's in the video clips. All right. Welcome in.
Whoa, we're live.
Welcome to Red Hot Reds. This is Ricky. That's Roger. It's been a rough go around of Reds baseball here, and I think we're gonna open up the phone lines. What do you say, Roger?
I would say we got at least we got minimal notes. We're not gonna go over talking points. We're not gonna. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna talk any hope into you guys that are watching or anybody on the show out there in our universe. But if you want to come on the show, we're gonna put out the link to join our StreamYard, to join our show. If you want to vent, if you want to talk, please feel free, because I think Sirboy and Austin had already kind of vented a little bit pre-show, but maybe they'll have some insightful takes or some stuff to get off their chest. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this, Ricky. We can go so many different directions.
Yeah. Let's run the intro and we'll get into it.
Oh yeah, the right one.
The right one.
Let's go. Here we go. As Ricky said, yeah, welcome to the show. We ran the right intro. We're going to get off all our venting, all our frustrations off our chest. It appears that we are joined by two really good friends of the show. We'll get them on here. And anyone else that wants to be on the show, we got the link in the comments there for the StreamYard. Feel free to pop on, give us your take, give us your, I don't know, what do you do with this team for the rest of the year? This is I don't know. This is frustrating territory to be in, because at this point last year, we were kind of dead in the water, not necessarily looking like we're going to make the playoffs and then make a late run and get in there. Ricky, that's not going to be the case in 2026, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it at all. It's just been a sad year of, not very many good winning streaks and some pretty bad losing streaks and bullpen collapses and offensive disappointment, and it's just been awful.
I was afraid they're going to win today. They went up 3-0 today, and that they were going to have a winning series against a potential playoff team in the Arizona Diamondbacks and Arizona. It's kind of weird that it would be a weird show to be, hey, we stink, but we just won a series. They did fall apart, like you said. The bullpen and Andrew Abbott fell apart to basically put a bow on what is already a pretty awful 2026. But yeah, I don't know. You ready to get our guys on so they can get their takes off, get their
yeah. We might have another one popping in here in a little bit too, but yeah, let's go.
All right, welcome to the show, Austin and Sirboy. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Hopefully you didn't get all your takes out pre-show. I'm sure something will pop up, something across X, the Everything app, might rage bait you into some sort of rant or whatnot. But how are you guys doing?
Hey man, doing all right. All things considered, I'm numb to it. Sirboy, you might be different than me.
Waving the flag.
Yeah.
Hey, just pretend this is a white flag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some white on there.
Yeah.
We see it.
I have waved the white flag on this season. It is DUN, as our good friend would say, Tom Brady. Oh, I'm doing all right, gentlemen. How are you?
I personally, we've been, this is pre-dating the trade deadline. We kind of knew this ending would come, right? If you're following this team as close as I think all of us kind of do, that when they had the talks of like, we're not going to sell, we're going to stand pat, we're going to keep Brady Singer, we're going to keep, whomever, right? And then all of a sudden they go on a little bit a hot streak, and we're like, no, this is fool's gold, right? Like, we're not really this good. We were good enough to not trade off our assets and get prospects or whatever. So I don't know. I felt like this day was always kind of on the horizon where it would be not official. I guess, what is it? 0%, 0.0% chance of playoffs. But,
it's they're 9 games back.
Yeah. Well, that's probably what they're saying in the front offices, I guess, but not really. I don't know, Austin. When did you think this season was officially done? Is it now, or did you have a feeling before that?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of thought it even shortly before the deadline, probably. Like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of had the pipe dream of like, oh, we're only, what were we, like 4 or 5 games out of the wild card at that point.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of like mathematically possible, but like, you knew they had to leapfrog 3 or 4 teams probably ahead of them in the wild card to even make a push. And just watching it, over the months before that, it's like, all right, well, we know, the offense isn't great. The pitching was struggling. So I knew it was kind of, typical Red season. Unfortunately, last year was kind of like the outlier, but I knew it was kind of going down that same path, at least in my view of like, well, this isn't going to be great. And even if they snuck in the playoffs, I was like, good luck playing like the Dodgers or something. You know what I mean? Like, I just, it's a tall task. So unfortunately, I still watch every night, like, which is probably an examination we all need to do on ourselves. But, I'll still put myself through it and watch this team. But I'm not even that mad anymore. It's just like, all right, here we are.
Yeah. You're not mad. You're disappointed, right?
Exactly.
Typical dad line.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. What about you, Sir Boy? Like, did you have a feeling it's like, was there a certain series or a game that you're like, yeah, I mean, obviously we're saying DUN done tonight. And I made a joke to Ricky to get the taps out just in case to play them. But like, did you have a series or a game that you're like, yeah, for sure, we're pack this up. Let's look at next year or 2028.
I'm not trying to be this guy. And I really did go into this season feeling this way. I thought at best they were a 500 team. I didn't think they were making the playoffs this year because I didn't think they did enough. I mean, you signed Suarez on a 1-year deal. That was good money-wise. I mean, it was only going to cost you, what, $15 million, I think, this year on a 1-year deal plus a mutual option at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Brock Burke, which was nice, and Caleb Ferguson. But outside of that, they once again – we're hoping that the core, Marte and Elly and Sal, they were once again expecting them to carry the load. This is the 3rd year now where they've done that, and it just has not worked. I think the best we got out of this team was that playoff appearance last year. And I think that's as best it's going to be with this core. And I went into this year, I said, if they can be 500, that's kind of where I had them at this year. I wasn't expecting, because last year I thought they were going to take off. I thought they were going to win the division finally. I thought everything was going to click. They were getting Hunter Green. He did well last year. And it's just, I never came into this year thinking that it was going to be better than a 500 season. I mean, we've seen it way too much. It has not gotten better, especially in the offseason. And I just don't know. I mean, how am I supposed to think that you add just 3 guys and then all of a sudden the core's just going to start hitting when they haven't hit in the last 2 years? I mean, I don't know. I just never came into this year thinking they were going to be better than a 500 ball club.
Yeah.
They didn't do enough.
And I came into the season like more optimistic because I figured they made the team better than they were last year, which is like disappointing to get play off the last, not mad but disappointed. But yeah, like I literally thought like the additions that they made, I'm like, all right, these guys are actually going to be better than they were last year. We'll see what they can do. But yeah, to your point, Sir Boy, it's like, all right, well, you were banking on Matt McLean to figure it out. Elly and Sal have been awesome, but you're kind of banking on getting production off of guys that you were playing the hope game rather than
And anything I say about the team, it does not include Chase Burns, Elly De La Cruz, and Sal Stewart. because they are not a part of the issue here. If anything, they're the only reason they got 51 or 52 wins that they have this year.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely disappointing, this core. I know we obviously talk about it all the time. Basically, Ricky always cites the stat that they haven't won 90 games since 2013. Like that's like a long time ago for some baseball fans. And Ricky, I don't know how you see it, but it feels like we are like the core, like the high water mark is like Sir Boy's kind of saying is 83 wins. Like, is that really like, is that what we're to expect from Cincinnati going forward?
Man, you know, the watermark for this franchise over the last 13 years has just been metal around 500. And if you can catch lightning in a bottle, you've rebuilt the team and you're going to go in the right direction. You know, the rebuild in 22 was a complete failure. They shut that down way too quick. They figured that just because, you know, 5 rookies showed the potential that they did, is that they were done. And obviously we saw with McLean, he got hurt, missed all of 24, came back, never was the same player. CES, there was no continued development with him. They just kind of said, you're here, let's see what you can do. And then it didn't work. They DFA him, and then he goes to a team that actually looks like they're working with him, and he's actually playing better. Kind of the same. It's like whatever we do with offensive players, whatever you did at AAA is just the max you can be as a player. And there's just no coaching beyond that. There's just, you know, Elly taking it upon himself to be a better player, Sal taking it upon himself to be a better player. And I'm not saying the other guys can't do that, but you're relying on AAA players becoming stars, and you're not putting in the work as a coaching staff to get the best out of these guys. We saw that with Jose Barrero back in 2022, 2023, 2021. You know, there was just no continued development. Like with pitchers, I mean, as long as you can throw hard and throw a strike, like you're basically, that's what you are. I mean, obviously you can work on things, but I think the Reds have a pretty good pitching staff, pitching coaches, you know. But with the offensive side, there's just nothing there.
Yeah, the offense is one of the worst offenses in baseball, right? Like we're not even like being hyperbolic with that. Like we have not necessarily been one of the best hitting teams. I don't even know since when, but I think we got another guest here to vent his frustrations. Ricky, if you're ready to bring on our guy, old friend of the podcast, a guy that's back at it with Ohio Sports Talk, Mr. Doug Stevens. Are you with us?
What's up, guys? How's it going tonight?
Not good. Just being a Reds fan, just not good anymore. It's it's football season, I guess, to put it plainly. So,
guys, let me start right away. You guys asked each other. You guys were talking earlier about when you knew it was over, and for me, it was this national sweep when the Nationals got us out of there in 3 games. To me, that was the deflating. That was the moment I thought, okay, I can let up. I can let this go. You know, I can try to enjoy maybe some like individual type accomplishments. You know, maybe if Chase Burns doesn't shut it down, I can watch him pitch and still enjoy that. You know, last night with JJ Bleday getting the cycle, that's fun. You know, there's still things that I can take away from it, but I'm not going to overly invest anymore because for this season, obviously next year, I'll convince myself that we're going to play slightly above 500 ball and compete for the 8th wild card spot that just, you know, lets teams have this unimaginable, like this, hey, we can still do this and we're an under 500 baseball team. You know, we trick ourselves into doing this every year. Last year, like you guys mentioned, that was an aberration. You know, it just happened to work out. And I appreciate, you know, hey, making the playoffs or making the wild card is still something, but it gives a lot of false hope to teams that are not good baseball teams. And, you know, I'm looking at the standings as we speak. It's ugly. It's really ugly after you get past, you know, the Phillies and teams like that. And I don't necessarily love the extra wild card spots because it gives, people like us extra hope that we probably don't really need. We really don't need to be, a little. It's over. It's over for us. 9 games out now. That 3-game sweep against the Nationals, guys. It was so deflating. It was such a kick in the teeth. It felt like the Reds they themselves checked out. They weren't there to play baseball anymore. Damn. You guys mentioned the offense, abysmal. I mean, you got 2 guys who are respectable hitters every night, and respectable for the Reds is 260 to 270. I mean, I know the game's changed a lot, and average isn't, power, blah, blah, blah. But come on, we can't get a guy hitting, safely around 290, 300. We don't have a guy who does that. And again, you guys mentioned a solid pitching staff. Things didn't go the Reds' way. Nick Lodolo, I've never seen somebody with worse fingers, and I've seen a lot of guys with hands throughout my life, and he 100% has the worst fingers I've ever seen. Andrew Abbott battled all year with his control, walking too many guys, getting way behind for just the entire year. Comes off an all-star year, and then you're expecting this guy, hey, is he our ace? Is he our number 2? I still think Andrew Abbott's a damn good pitcher, guys. Don't get me wrong, but you can't walk 4 or 5 guys every night you go out to the hill. You just can't do it. You can't do it and be a successful pitcher in or in general. Like I said, Nick Lodolo, the Hunter Green situation. What do we do now? I mean, we're already going to sit out next year, and he's going to, come back in 2028 and hopefully refine himself again. There's a lot of question marks with this rotation after Chase Burns and Andrew Abbott. And they're damn good. Hey, damn good. And I will say, tip of the cap to Pagan. I was a hater for a lot of his career here with the Reds. After the All-Star break, I got to say that guy pitched his butt off. I mean, he'll give up a random home run, and you're like, dude, that was right down the middle, 94. Anybody's taking that out, but he battled his butt off after the All-Star break, and I really thought he deserved it, tip of the cap. But it's the same old, guys. I'm going to ask all 4 of you guys. Are you bringing back Tito next year? Are you comfortable bringing back Tito next year?
I'll go first. There a next year? Is there a next year?
Sorry. Next time there is baseball played at an MLB stadium, will Terry Francona be the coach or the manager of the Cincinnati Reds? What do you guys think?
I'll go first. I think if he leaves, it's on his own accord, and he's not going to get fired. Personally, I mean, it's not going to matter who coaches this team as long as Nick Kroll and Brad Meador and all these people are still running the front office. So they could bring back, Sparky Anderson, and it's not going to matter. So with that being said, I guess I'm comfortable with it. It's just I don't think anything going on is his doing. I mean, there are issues that he has. I'm not going to say he's perfect by any means. I don't want that to come off as that. I just think, Dave Roberts isn't putting this team in the playoffs. I don't think,
it's fair.
Sparky Anderson is not going to win 100 games with this team. Would a different coach have different coaching staff and possibly improve the development of players? Possibly. But I think, Mike Napoli does a good job working with Sal Stewart at first base. I think that's been a good move. I don't agree with Chris Fleika as the hitting coach. I think he would do a lot better in a role as what he's been doing with the minor leagues because I think that's working. It's just, I don't know.
Ricky, if I hit 230 for my career, are you letting me coach your Little League team?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just depends.
4-year MLB career, and he hit 238.
I think Jose Trevino would be a good manager. Tyler Stevenson would probably be a good manager. Hitting coaches are so finicky because, you might not have been a good hitter, but you might understand the fundamentals to teach them, to help other people understand their fundamentals. But I just don't like Chris Fleika as a hitting coach. Yeah,
the whole thing of being a good player to be a good coach, I don't necessarily buy because usually the worst players in certain sports, whether that be baseball, football, basketball, soccer, even they are sometimes better because they're paying attention to the details a little bit more because they stink so bad they have to apply themselves in a different way. My example in baseball of a terrible situation for a really good player trying to be a coach is Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was a hitting coach for, I think, San Francisco and Miami Marlins for a couple of years, and basically was trying to just tell the guys, just do what I do and then you'll be fine. It's like, you can't do that. You can't be Barry Bonds if you're whoever in the Miami Marlins organization or whatever. But the point being with that is that Velika's philosophy has always been a thing that we debate on the show in terms of like line drive hitting as opposed to trying to swing for the fences. It feels like we abandoned that this year, which is weird because we're like one of the better home run hitting teams, but we still can't hit with guys with like in scoring position outside
unless you're Sal Stewart.
Unless you're Sal Stewart, and that's it. And then you lead the league in RBIs because you're the only guy that can do it on this team. No. So there is so many. I think I've said this on the show before. There's so much rot in this organization, not just the 9 players that suit up every day and the pitcher. There's rot in the front office. There's rot that's got to be taken out of the minors. There's so much that needs to be kind of like uprooted out of this organization. It doesn't come down to one guy, Velika, in my opinion. But it obviously Tito's kind of foibles with some of his press conferences and, Velika having his, stuff and everything like that. Derek Johnson's been gone for a while and hopefully he's all right, but I don't know what's going on there. There's so much that needs to change. I don't know if firing Tito or not bringing him back is going to make this organization better. There's got to be, and you can't fire the owner. So there's that. So like, we got to do something. Yeah. Well,
okay. So Roger, are you good with Tito back in 2028 then?
Well, his contract goes to 2027, and I don't know how that would work in so much of like if there is no 2027 season.
They're probably going to work it into where they get that service time anyway.
Yeah. Really?
I think they almost have to where they have to give the players that service time, I bet.
Well, the players, but like a contract for a manager, it doesn't matter what. I don't know. There's a lot of unanswered questions that are going to be like hopefully answered. But if there's no season,
has going on right now. What a mess.
Yeah. Would I be comfortable bringing him back despite his contract status? I think so, because like, where are you going to go? To borrow a phrase, like there's not many Hall of Fame managers out there to be hired. And I'm not saying just because you're a Hall of Fame manager or potential Hall of Fame manager, you're going to correct all the ills of this organization. But I'd rather have a guy that's been there, done that than, I don't know, whatever the Giants are doing with Torrey, whatever his name is, Vitello or whatever his name is out there. I'd rather have a guy that's seen baseball games and not just a college guy that's doing his first professional experience in Major League Baseball. You know what I mean?
Rough start for him.
I don't care about Giants. Giants can lose all their games. I don't care about them. That was one of the teams that threw at Sal Stewart, right? Like, what are we doing here? Like,
is there a team that hasn't, guys?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the whole offense right there. So you take him out. There's our whole offense, aside from Elly, I guess.
Sir Boy, what do you think?
It's I'm gonna say this because I was the biggest Bell hater, and I was the one that was jumping up and down when he's gone. Yeah. And no, I'm not gonna sit here and say they should have kept him because they shouldn't have. They made the right decision getting rid of him. I'm sorry. You can tell me whatever you want, cry about it, complain about it. I really don't care. He sucked as a manager. It is what it is. That being said, for a man who was happy that they brought in Terry, it has not gone well for him. It has not gone well for him at all. And it has been an abject failure. Let's just call it how it is.
Why failure? They did make the playoffs, but I don't know if they.
Yeah, but let's be real. If the Mets win one game in the last week, they're in the playoffs, and the Reds are not in the playoffs. It took a catastrophe to get the Reds in the playoffs by the Mets.
Yeah. But there's the argument that Terry Francona made this team, this carcass of a team, into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like there's that.
And I get that, but it has been a failure though, because I thought they were going to win the division last year. I really thought they were going to win I know. Trust me. I laugh when I say that out loud as I say it now. But I thought honestly thought when they brought him in, I thought it was going to put them over the hump, and actually thought they were going to get a little bit further runway than what they got.
I do think what you're saying is fair, though, because I expected more accountability. I expected others.
Yeah.
I expected there to be some level of.
I thought there'd be more cohesion. That was what my problem with David Bell was. It never seemed like there was cohesion, except for that run in 23 when they just had a magical year and they just barely missed the playoffs. Outside of that, I never felt cohesion among the team. And I thought bringing Terry in, that would help fix that issue as well. Because I do think having some cohesion along your team, I'm not saying everyone's got to love each other, but as long as you got the respect and you're willing to fight with the guy next to you, I think you can do a lot as a baseball team. But it just, I don't know. It just, now, are you getting rid of it? No, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as Nick Krall and Brad Meter and Sam Grossman and all of them are in the positions that they're in, it doesn't really matter. There is so many issues in this franchise right now. It literally, like you just said, from top to bottom. It goes all the way from top to bottom. It literally all needs to be weeded out, and it needs to be just start from scratch. Now, if they get rid of Nick Krall, what are the chances they're going to just promote Brad Meter? I think that would be more than probably what they're probably going to do. Until I'm proven otherwise, I don't think they're going to go outside the organization and hire someone to be the GM or be the president of baseball operations, because that's what they've done the last 3 general managers. They just went from Walt to Dick Williams to Nick Krall, and they were all guys that had been here for a while. So until I'm proven otherwise, I don't think getting rid of Terry isn't going to do anything. If anything, they'll probably lose more games, if you want to know the truth. Even though I just said, I know it's been an abject failure, in my opinion, I still think they're better off with him here than they are without him.
Yeah, because you're saying that, he's getting the most out of the players that they have,
I just thought he would get way more than they did. And I guess I was trying. And, this also brings up a point that I was thinking about while Doug was talking. Did that 12-game win streak inflate every single player on that roster who was a part of that core? And maybe we got sold a bill of goods that just was not going to pan out to the way we thought it was.
Yeah.
This was a quote from his.
If they don't win 12 games in a row, are we talking about that team the same as we are right now?
No.
I don't think we have the outlook that we do with that team.
I don't think you talk about his tenure in any kind of positive light.
No. So
This was a quote from his introductory press conference. The question got brought up about payroll and stuff. He said, "I hope you never hear me talk about payroll. Monday, when there will never be an excuse when we play a game, lose a game on our payroll. Once the game starts, it doesn't matter." And there's more on that. He got talked about with like the roster construction and all that stuff. And he basically said that that's Brad and Nick's job is to run the roster, and he just coaches the players. And I think that kind of gets lost in a lot of it. I think that people think that the Reds run their organization like most other professional baseball teams do, where the manager has a significant amount of input on roster moves and stuff like that. But we saw they sent down, they DFA'd Will Benson, and then who'd they bring up as an outfielder? Nope, Ivan Johnson.
Yeah. Ivan Johnson.
And then he never played. So they basically played without an extra outfielder. And then, they bring up Hector, and he plays a couple days, doesn't play a whole lot his first couple weeks. And then, they bring up Tolia, plays every other day.
By the way, hopefully he gets better. That was terrible. I saw a replay, or I saw a highlight of that the other night. That was terrible. I hope he gets better and makes it cool.
But I'm just saying, the front office isn't helping him by the roster moves that they're doing. And when we stood pat at the trade deadline and didn't do anything other than trade our best left-handed reliever for international free agency money, and you trade Nathaniel Lowe, who is probably our best bench bat, for a AAA player who probably doesn't play on the major league roster on this team ever. I doubt he ever makes this team because he was DFA'd by Cleveland. And then they go. You can talk about the contracts. This is pre. But they bring in Moustakas. That never worked. They go and they get Candelario. That never worked. And then you hear them say, "Oh, well, we're going to extend a qualifying offer out to Brady Singer." And people are like, "Oh, that's just talk." Like, no, he's going to do it because they're dumb enough to do that. They're dumb enough to pay a fifth starter at best, top of the league money, because that's the kind of moves that Nick Krall makes, and it's just a complete joke.
It's so bad.
But yeah, to answer your question though, they can get rid, or they should just keep them. I mean, who's going to fix that team? Seriously. Is Skip Schumacher going to come and fix it? He's not. Like, you can name the manager. No one can fix that roster. It is outside of 3 guys, and I tweeted this the other night. It is absolute crap. That roster is absolute crap.
Yeah.
I don't know, Austin, for you, has it been an abject failure for Tito Francona era so far?
I mean, not an abject failure, I'd say. I think to answer the question, he's going to be back. He's got 1 year left on his deal, and I think a club option after that. So I'd see it in a scenario where they, if they don't do anything next year, whenever the next season is, they just don't pick up the club option, and then that's kind of the end of the relationship there. But that being said, for a lot of the reasons you guys have already named as well, like I have been surprisingly disappointed with what we've gotten out of Tito. I came into it thinking, one, you guys mentioned it, the accountability I thought was going to be, kind of, the biggest change in the lineup and whatnot, and guys playing and things like that. But the thing that's shocked me the most is just the leashes that he's given, and I mean long leashes to guys that have underperformed. Matt McLean, I think, has gotten a lot of time to, still hit 200 essentially. I don't think that we necessarily have, like you guys said, a lot of great options to put in there for him, but when things aren't working, he just seems to ride it into the ground. I mean, the bottom third of our lineup most nights is kind of a black hole of, McLean, Brian Hayes, and then, Trevino, whoever's, maybe catches. Steven's pretty good. He is higher than the lineup. But yes, I mean, to me, I just have been surprised with kind of like the head scratching moves lineup wise, defensively, given TJ Friedel the amount of time that he's gotten on this team, and like, why is that even a guy that's taking up for a roster spot? So that stuff, I feel like, for me, I've been just disappointed in how we've gotten, Tito and the team that we've gotten as a result of that. But I would say, I mean, yeah, they made the playoffs last year. You guys are right. They kind of backed into it and got lucky. This year, I think, is more of a accurate representation of like what our team and organization is. But yeah, I mean, even if you do get rid of Tito, you've got a piss poor major league lineup. Like you guys said, we don't have anybody that's even close to hitting 290. And bad news, guys, our minor league system's in the bottom third of the league too. So, and I'm sure Roger and Ricky could go into more in depth on that. But just at a high level, I do know guys that we're super excited about outside of Duno and some others. But I don't know.
We're gonna ruin Duno too. You watch.
God.
Yeah. So that's the frustrating part for me.
Sorry,
it's like,
don't do this to me.
I'm sorry.
I think if you were even like optimizing the guys that we had in a smart way, like we'd maybe be 5 games better or something. I don't know. But
maybe.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
If you have to give somebody a standing ovation for getting a single in his last 30 plus at bats, you're in a really bad spot as a franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's pumping his fist. Like, dude, why do you have a job? Why are you on a major league ball club? We're celebrating a single in his last 33 at bats or something. It just, guys, it's gotten to the point. It's just so bad. It's so bad.
Wait,
263. 263 is our best hitter.
Where's the last? What's the last series this year? Where do they end the season at?
Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Toronto.
Yeah.
Cease is going to throw a no-hitter.
They should literally leave every single part of that team in Toronto, take their passports, except for Elly, Sal Stewart, and Chase Burns. Leave the rest of them there.
The Reds currently have 4 players with an OPS over 700.
He can come back too. But outside of that.
That's including Suarez?
Wow.
Yeah, Suarez is at 705.
Yeah.
And then you go McLean, 654.
You forgot about Spencer Gordon Steer, our guy that's not coming back.
Yep. Well, hang on.
Imagine.
I love Spencer Steer. Love him. Yeah. Just love the guy.
Suarez is at 700. Dane Meyer, 704. Blake Dunn, 723. Stevenson, 732.
You don't bring back Suarez, correct? Please tell me we're not.
It's over. Let him go.
McLean, 657. Trevino, 626. Arroyo, 568. Marte, 550. PJ Higgins, 545.
PJ Higgins.
TJ Friedel, 482. Ke'Bryan Hayes, 457. I mean, it's.
Look at these names, man.
Oh, goodness.
These guys stink.
PJ Higgins has a higher OPS.
Matt McLean has a higher OPS than Will Benson.
Yeah.
And yet, literally, people will tell me Will Benson's the greatest player ever. That is so funny.
Will Benson's a nice guy, dude.
He's a very good dude.
He's a nice guy. And if you're a nice guy, you should be on this roster. That's what's important, guys. We want nice guys, not good baseball players.
About that, every time I've been around the guy, I have not seen that. And
you don't think he's a nice guy?
That's not a lie either. I'm not BSing anyone with that.
I'm not personally being sarcastic. I'm just being sarcastic. I'm just screwing around because
that's it about the guy. No kidding. I've run into so many people that tell me about how nice of a guy he is, and I'm like, oh my goodness, where is it? Because every time I'm around the guy, especially when I was at Reds Fest, the dude was an absolute pompous. I'm not going to say it, but you can get my drift.
I'd personally like to hear you say it, but that's just me. I'm a little more out there about it.
I have never been around the guy, and he seems like a total tool. I mean, that's just my what I've seen with him in person and how he's treated people in person.
Maybe you ditch the Reds all together and turn to Red Hot NL Central.
Who is that?
Tell this loser to get in here and let's talk about the Reds.
In here, I know.
The link is in the comments. It's
Is
10.
he wrong? Is he wrong?
But get him in here. Let's talk to this guy. Let's get him in here.
There is come on the show if you want. Ricky and I talked about, I think, off screen a bit. We should just be on the White Sox bandwagon because my family's from Chicago.
I am pro good Chicago team. White Sox all the way.
This is probably a bad time, but we're promoting a ticket giveaway to the Reds. Elly De La Cruz bobblehead. All you got to do is be a subscriber.
Yes, if you guys want torture, sign up or do the giveaway. If you guys want torture for 3 hours of your Saturday after Saturday night, please enter this giveaway.
Guys, we want to give these tickets away. The team is so bad. We're dying to give these tickets away.
Don't you want a bobblehead? Don't you want a bobblehead?
3 Conies on the show. 3 Conies. Oh, man.
Speaking of free Conies, you do get a $10 food credit for where you're sitting at. So
unreal.
Which, by the way, is not going to get you much because the food in there is not edible to begin with. So
whoa, the Skyline Conies are solid. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Hey.
Outside of Skyline and outside of La Rosas, the rest of the ballpark food is trash.
Well, and I can't disagree with you there, but we got to give the guys who are making decent food a little bit of credit.
Oh, no. When I talk about the food at GAVP, that does not include Skyline and La Rosas. You can't get anything. Hell, it's better at the ballpark for La Rosas than it is actually at the restaurant.
And the best thing to do is to combine the two and give yourself a Sky Rosa.
Oh, Sky Rosa.
What a development.
It's all you can eat wristband. You can eat like 5 hot dogs. However many bags of chips you want. That's the way to do it.
Exactly. I am pro Skyline. If you hate Skyline, then I hate you.
Coach Beard has slowly won me over with these last couple of messages. I apologize for my early hate.
He's a professional troll. Coach Beard's a friend of mine. Don't
Hey. Coach Beard, hell of a guy. Sorry, my bad, guys. You have a good rest of your show. I've been putting down tile for most of the day. I got to take a shower. I love you guys. I appreciate you having me on. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll see you guys next time. Love you guys.
Always welcome on, man.
America loves you, Doug.
See you guys.
See you in 2028.
2029.
Maybe.
Name the banner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I technically we're paying them $10. You get $10 of free food, Coach Beard, if you go to the Fioptic section that the tickets are. So technically we are paying them to be there. At least paying a little bit of their food. So
and you get a bobblehead. So that's that.
Yeah, you can turn that.
That is a pretty cool looking bobblehead. I'm not gonna lie.
If you're there in time.
Oh yeah. Well,
if it's an Elly giveaway, it's gonna be packed.
Even if they stink, huh? And they're playing.
Even if they stink,
it's Elly, man. They're gonna show up.
Dude, it's Elly. Whenever they do anything for him, that place is packed. It's ridiculous. It's insane.
Or you gotta watch out for
the hitters behind me.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that strike for a second though?
Which one?
The one that's incoming.
Wow, that one. I thought you were talking about the Dane Myers one that he had to challenge.
There's a Dane Myers.
Won a challenge. Dane Myers won a challenge on a ABS system for the first time this year, it feels like.
Oh, that's hilarious. Great. Shout out to Dane Myers. Good. Yeah. Way to make up for your disappointment on Thursday.
I said that was my answer to the question of when my season ended for the Reds is unfortunately against those stinky Redbirds or Ratbirds, whatever we call them. Just having a chance to win that series obviously doesn't get us much except, stinking brownie points or bragging points. But yeah, that when he dropped that ball, my season was done, man.
I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable.
Well, you're not mad at Matt McClain for not hitting a second grand slam of the game?
There's that, yeah. Well, or
there was people that were like, God, man, of course we get Matt McClain up with the bases loaded. Let's just not act like he hit a grand slam earlier in the game.
Oh, but the walking into the runs again, we're back to that. Like Brock Burke walking in a run. Like we're going to go back to May, of 2026 and do that. I can't. That's why I couldn't with this team. This team is now literally done. Nothing else really. I mean, obviously there may be some, like the cycle for JJ or whatever, but like.
By the way, that deserves the old golf clap, as they say.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really happy when they shut down Chase Burns for the year, so that I can be like, yes, we have a pitcher that lasted and is not injured, and we can look for the future with his, future success. I don't know, man.
When can we start that hot take about Hunter Green?
I mean, hasn't it been going on? Trade Hunter Green?
Even that hot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not a hot take to say that maybe he's not as great as we think he is?
I mean, what's the football adage? The best ability is availability. So
I'm sorry, you're not an ace of a staff if you've only thrown 160 innings in 1 year. And I understand the game's different now, but seriously, you want to be an ace and you're only thrown 160 innings once? Really?
Yeah.
I agree, but let's be honest too. He did have a pretty solid last year. It'd be hard for me to say that he's been like a bust or anything like that.
Oh,
but
I don't think bust. I don't think he's an ace.
Yeah. I thought you were Surboy. I thought. Whoa. We'll go with the hotter take that Reds extending their pitchers has not worked out in the past. We go Hunter Bailey, right? Or Homer Bailey, sorry.
Homer.
Not much of a difference.
Yeah, there's
Hunter Bailey and Homer Green, and then now we extended our most recent guy. And I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but we've got evidence, right? And pitching nowadays is very fragile. You don't see a lot of guys like you don't see guys going 200 innings in a season, and that's a healthy guy, right?
Yeah, but how many seasons has Hunter Green done consistently where he's thrown over 100 innings?
Yeah, no, the point's taken. I'm just worried about the health of Chase Burns, basically.
Well, I'm shocked.
Now that he's got the curse.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm shocked because they talked about shutting him down and he's still pitching. It's like, okay, what's the deal now then? So now you're gonna, and I'll be honest, I don't know if I'll tell you what, this might be a hot take. I don't know if I buy into the whole management of the arm like that or whatever. I think the more innings you throw, I think the better off you are.
As long as you're not pitching through stuff, like that was the thing with Hunter, is that he was pitching through discomfort. If you're pitching and you're not hurting, which I don't know, everyone's got their own pain tolerance, right? But like, if you're not like forcing something that you're feeling something pinching or whatever the hell like type of stuff that's going on with your body, then yeah, go for it. Like that's like maybe the one thing that Tito has done with this organization that David Bell would have pulled, like a bunch of these pitchers, Abbott, Burns, whoever, in like the fourth inning, because too many pitches, third time through the rotation or through the lineup or whatever. Like Tito's like, well, he's pitching well. Yeah, keep him in there, right? Like at least we've got that to maybe say there's a positive to Tito versus Bell, but that's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I mean Green's contract is dirt cheap. I mean, 6 years, 53 million. Homer Bailey got 6 years, 105. So I mean, Chase Burns' contract's right there with Homer Bailey's contract. So I feel like had Hunter Green not accepted that contract and then maybe bet on himself, possibly, he probably would have got a hell of a lot more money than what he did. It's just, the health hasn't worked for him, unfortunately. And, I don't know, man. It's unfortunate because I'll give him this. At least with Green's injuries, they're kind of stuff that's like really far out of his control. It's soft tissue, ligament injuries, where with like Nick Lodolo, he can't keep his fingers dry for whatever reason. And I don't know. It's unfortunate that our two top draft pick pitchers in the last, outside of the past 5 years, have both dealt with injuries every year since they've been a professional. And, Louder hasn't taken that step to replace Green. Burns looks like he's on pace to be arguably one of the best pitchers in the last 30 years for this team. It's just now we wait for Burns and hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. What is your take, Austin, on the pitching and I don't know, philosophies or whatever that this organization should be doing with their pitching staff?
Yeah, and I think the Reds are in a tough position because they basically have to rely on homegrown guys, draft picks, that sort of thing, which are inherently going to be younger guys that are unproven. So you're automatically at a disadvantage between some of the guys that, Dodgers, obviously a big payroll team, and, pretty much everybody else in front of the Reds too. But those guys can sign, proven free agents, bolster their rotation with, 3, 4, 5 guys that are all pretty solid. And the Reds are, they're put in a tough spot where they have to bank that all of their draft picks hit. They progress through the minor leagues, get to the major leagues, and they've had some success with that. I'd say Rhett Louder, Chase Burns, pretty fast track guys that have gotten up here. But inevitably, you're going to be hamstrung if you get, a couple injuries to key guys like Lodolo and Green. So I think it's just very tough for them to be able to, one, get as lucky as they kind of need to be to succeed, but then two, like, just the sustainability of it is going to be tough with pitching in general. So I say all that to say, like, I don't, think the Reds have done a great job at developing the guys that aren't already great. And I kind of put that in the Derek Johnson blame. Obviously Chase Burns came in as a top, draft pick. Rhett Louder was kind of similar. So it's like, we knew these guys would be decent. And, the success that Hunter Green has had it too. It's like, all right, these guys that like are supposed to be good or are already good, like they're usually good. But I mean, how many guys have we seen that kind of, upended their own trajectory and kind of overperformed and kind of came the diamond in the rough type of guy? So that's the most, I guess, frustrating part for me with it in the Reds, pitching staff as a whole. But I'll ask you guys, Ricky and Roger, especially, you guys probably know more than I do. Like, are there guys that you see coming up that really have any promise of, like, in the next couple years being able to contribute? Because like I don't see it as like a above casual Reds fan, but you guys have much more of a tap on the minor leagues than I do.
Yeah, as far as like minor league pitchers, I mean, there's really not a starter that I could say I have the utmost faith in to be the next guy within the next 3 years. There's a couple players that are on Dayton right now that we feel pretty high on. Starlin Torres being one. Edgar Colon has a lot of potential. He has an electric fastball. Diego Villafana is a top prospect, but he's just an A-ball. Iker Radona has unbelievable command, but he's kind of getting hit around a lot right now in Daytona. He's just 18 years old. Aaron Watson, our second-round pick last year, I see a little bit of like a Matt Latos in him just watching him pitch, but he's still, 18, 19 years old. And he's probably at least 5 years away. So as far as like AAA pitchers, Chase Petty, but they're kind of running him through the ringer, going between the bullpen and, I can't think of anybody right now on AAA that I'm like, that guy could be a fifth starter and could contribute with the Reds, at least in the short term, being a year or two, maybe like a Davis Daniel, maybe a Carson Spires if he can get healthy again. Just those kind of guys, but there's not like a top pitching prospect that's higher than Dayton right now.
The one guy that I thought would contribute this year that's coming off a UCL all last year, Tommy John or whatever it was, Julian Aguiar. And he's usually was like a top 15 prospect. He debuted all the way back in 2024. Yeah, so like he's a known entity somewhat, and his spring training went pretty well when I was down there. So like I was expecting him to be in the majors to help at least, right? Spot starter. Probably could have been like that taxi guy that Chase Petty has been this whole year at the very least, but he has not looked himself, has gotten like some setbacks and everything. And yeah, Ricky mentions Carson Spires. Carson Spires just went on rehab today with the Dayton Dragons, and maybe is probably a candidate for the Arizona Fall League just to get some action in this calendar year before, baseball basically goes on lockdown. But I don't know, man. It's tough because Chase Petty is supposed to be that guy. And I think Ricky, I still think he could be that guy. They just now are, we can get in this. This is the rot that probably needs to be changed, is the employment of our prospects into our major league team. They're making Chase Petty, they told him to go to AAA to work as a reliever. And I'm like, what are we doing here? This guy is 23 years old. It's not like he's 33 and, Julian Garcia, who's, trying just to make the team in whatever way possible, right? 23-year-old had a lot more space to potentially be a starter, a high-end starter. I don't know exactly what we're doing with that, but like also just the way they bring up guys and then put them on the bench. Like if you're not going to have them out there, or if you're going to have a Noelvi Marte just sit on the bench and not play that much, like you might as well just put them back in AAA to develop or do whatever they're supposed to do with them. You know what I mean? The one bright spot in development that I think we haven't talked about is Luis May, and they gave him instructions to work on his sinker in AAA, and he did. And now it's one of the most nastiest pitches that this, at least for our organization, one of the most nastiest pitches he employs out there. So there's that. But we also have the Connor Phillips example from last year that he went to the minors and worked on his stuff and looked great and looked like he was going to be the next great reliever, a converted starter. And where has he been this year? Nowhere to be found. He's, I think, still injured in AAA. And I don't know, man. There's just so many things that have gone wrong this year. But I think what doesn't help is obviously the things that Tito ends up, either saying or the long leashes, as you say, Austin, that he employs, but also just the use of these guys. It feels like we are misusing some players, and I don't even know what to do with it. Like obviously, I don't have the right answers. Here's
the real question.
I don't know.
Is it time to tear it all down and just restart again?
That movement started like
that is the crossroads that this team is at now.
Yeah.
We're here. We're 3 years in to this core being together, and we've gotten nowhere with it. I don't see an avenue in the next 2 to 3 years unless the structure of baseball changes to where they can go out and get free agents and at least fix the offense. Unless that happens, they're not winning with this roster. There is no prospect in that minor league system that's going to fix this whole team. It's not going to happen. So if let's just be real, it's time to cut bait and admit that it failed and to just start over. And I know it sucks that we are now going to go into a fourth rebuild since 2020 or 2013. But I don't see what else are we supposed to do? Just keep going down this road and praying to the Lord that somehow 3 of these guys just magically figure out how to hit, when we know that's not going to happen. I mean, the jury's out on all these guys at this point. Marte is going to do nothing, right? I mean, he's been up here for 2 years now? And I understand that he's not gotten consistent playing time. I get it. But when he has played at all, it hasn't looked great. Even when they put him out in the outfield, and I get it. He had that great catch at the end of last year that saved their season, and they got to the playoffs because of it. I get it. But there's times this year where he's out there and it looks horrible. He's not an outfielder. I mean, he's not.
Well, here's the thing. They were training him to be the next center fielder. They were playing him in Louisville a lot in center field. And then what ends up happening, he gets, finally called up to the majors. And who do they put in center field late in the season? Spencer Steer.
Yeah.
And who else did they put?
Rodriguez, right?
TJ Friedel.
Hector Rodriguez's third official game as a center fielder when he played only left field for Louisville Bats, and has also had
their biggest
defensive. He's not the greatest defensive outfielder in left field either.
No other organization in this league has just absolutely just dismissed the outfielder like the Reds.
Well, and then we're forgetting the most egregious use of a player is putting Matt McClain out in center field this year. What are we doing? This is what I'm talking about, employment of the players. This is literally like little league stuff where you're like, oh, he's a good athlete. He'll figure it out. Okay, do that at AAA Louisville. You know what I mean? Like where the game doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Yeah, but
ultimately, what are we doing?
I'll ask you that question though. Do you guys think it's time to just cut bait? Because that's where I'm at with this team.
All right,
everybody.
My thing is though is are we okay with trading Elly this offseason?
Nah.
Are you re-signing him?
No, but
probably not.
We at least can pretend that we can keep him a couple more years.
Because, I mean, outside of Elly and Sal Stewart, name an offensive player that's going to get you a solid return.
Maybe. No.
Steer, who might get you a mid-level bench bat. TJ Friedel is going to be a non-tender. Dane Myers isn't going to bring you back anybody. McClain's not going to bring back anybody.
Yeah.
Stevenson's probably is going to be a free agent at the end of this season. Trevino's not going to bring back anybody.
I get you're not going to get anyone in return that's going to be worth a while, but seriously, what is the alternative to what they have? They have nothing. They have nothing outside of 3 guys.
I mean, we talked about it on one show. Why? We obviously experienced this in real time that they didn't sell at the deadline. What's wrong with doing a whole Chicago White Sox, lose 120 games, build up the
That's what it takes sometimes. Is you got to. I mean, I hate to be, and I don't want. This is what sucks. I hate being in the business of wishing for this team to suck just so they can get a better draft pick. But with what's been going on the last 2 to 3 years, what is the alternative? They cannot go do what the Dodgers can do. They cannot go do what the Mets can do. They just can't. I'm sorry. Bob Castellini does not have $350 million to spend on his payroll. Should he be spending more money? Absolutely. You're never going to not convince me otherwise that he shouldn't be spending more money. But do not sit there and make me look like a fool and tell me that they have $350 million that they can spend on this payroll. They cannot. I don't think his net worth is over $1 billion.
His net worth is the lowest in baseball. And I've said this a number of times, and I'm sure people hate it, but with him being the lowest, net worth owner, he puts out mid payrolls. He puts out 20th ranked payrolls. Sometimes it cracks the top 20. And he spent money to bring in Moustakas Castellanos and goes and signs Shogo Akiyama for whatever. Were they mistakes? Yeah. I mean, but Nick Castellanos got a Sal Stewart, so there's that. He signs Jamer Candelario to almost $50 million. He signs Chase Burns to $105 million extension. He signed Homer Bailey to $105 million extension. He gave Joey Votto $275 million. So you're not seeing teams like Cleveland do that. You're not seeing Milwaukee do that. You're not seeing Tampa Bay do that. The one time Tampa did that, the guy got arrested for CP. So, he's tried. It's just he tries with the amount that he has without absolutely going bankrupt. And I'm not trying to come off as a Castellini defender because I want these people gone. I would much prefer to have more payroll, but he gives you what he can. It's the mistakes of having guys like Nick Krall giving out terrible contracts. It's having mistakes of having a Mike Moustakas who was 33 years old getting signed to a 4-year deal. It's having Jamer Candelario, who was clearly on the downturn in his physical abilities, getting a $45 million contract. It's knowing Hunter Green had a Tommy John in 2019 to give him a contract extension, knowing that it was most likely going to happen again. I don't know, man. It's just, as much as the Reds fans want to hate on ownership, which I think a lot of it is warranted, it's not the ownership's fault in everything wrong with this team. It's the people that he has in charge running his finances,
spending the money.
Yeah.
We talk about those deals too. The most underrated deal, and they could have had him, and he is one of the best closers this team has ever had in their franchise. Aroldis Chapman was available in free agency at the end of 2023, and he signs for like a league minimum deal with the Pirates. And right now, he's absolutely killing it with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
We could have had him for league minimum, and we could have had a closer. But no, let's not bring him back.
I don't know if that would have cured much ills other than having a nice 105 mile per hour out of the bullpen. But I don't know.
I want to hear the players the Reds got back in return for Aroldis Chapman in that trade.
Oh, it makes me
with the Yankees.
It makes me freaking sick.
They got Rookie Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Jangelo.
Yeah.
Tony Renda. And Caleb Cotham. Did any of those guys ever make this team?
Caleb Cotham.
Cotham did. Yeah.
All right. Now, remember the Johnny Cueto trade? We traded for 3 pitchers.
The French artist, John
Was that
Lamb.
the John Lamb?
Shout out to my
John
man.
Lamb. Cody
Reed.
Cody Reed, yeah.
Brandon Finnegan.
Yeah. Yeah.
College World Series, my guy, Brandon Finnegan.
Nice.
My guy.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Shout out to John Lamb. I hope his weed farm's doing well out there in California.
What a pull there.
Look it up.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure he's not doing
You
bad.
remember who the Reds got back in return for the Todd Frazier trade?
They got Peraza in that deal.
Jose Peraza, Scott Schebler, and Brandon Dixon. You know who the Dodgers got in that trade? Frankie Montas, Micah Johnson, and Trace Thompson.
Wow.
Trace Thompson, actually.
You're telling me the Reds couldn't have got Montas in that trade?
Back when was that?
2016?
We'd end up getting him anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
Ended up getting him in the long run anyway. Might have been on the backside.
What's another player that got traded?
Let's say, let's reevaluate this trade because this one's been going around X the Everything app. Austin, what do you think? Do you think we won the Luis Castillo trade? Yes or no, and why?
I would say no, only from the fact that look at where the Reds are with the guys that we got and what we probably could have gotten out of a couple more years out of Castillo. So I would say, and honestly, I don't think it was a bad trade. Like, I don't think we got like killed in it or anything, but I think the fact that like organizationally, and to answer like Sir Boy's question too, of like blowing it up, I really think the Reds' strategy needs to be more so like riding these guys out while they have them under team control, with then flipping them for better prospects. So like that's the most frustrating part about the trade deadline too. It's like you had a bunch of these guys on expiring deals that should have been moved to have any semblance of like building up prospects and things like that. So if you don't do that, then yeah, you're basically putting yourself in a situation where, like Sir Boy's saying, like, do you just completely blow it up? Because now you can only get return if you get rid of like your best guys, and then you're even going to be worse for the next 4 or 5 years. But to answer your question, I think they lost that trade, but it's tough because I think, like Luis Castillo is not great anymore. He was great against the Reds. But I think like the years shortly after, like, what was it, 2024 and 5, probably, like we would have definitely used that in our team, I'd say.
It looked good at the moment when they did it, right? Because they got the top 2 out of the Mariners system, right? In Arroyo and Marte. And I don't know, I'm still holding out hope for Arroyo to be a major leaguer, at least a league average hitter. Like, that's the thing that we're right now, Sir Boy. We just need league average hitters. Like, what the heck? We're just asking for like 0 WAR players. Like, what? Like,
let me put this in context for you. And I get it. It was a different time period, and it was just a different game in general. But back in 2012, our worst hitter was Drew Stubbs, and he was hitting like around 212, 220. You want to know what the rest of them guys were hitting? 240 to 270 to 280 in that range. I'm not asking for every single hitter to hit 300, but the fact that we don't have hitters that can hit 250 at a consistent level is a joke.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know. Our pitching has to be perfect.
It hurts your head. It literally hurts your head just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at just some of the trades that they've made in recent memory. I mean, look, like going back to the trade deadline, Sam Moll might be the best trade acquisition in the last 5 years.
They need to stop making trades with the Mariners too. It has not gone well every time they made a trade with them. I mean, what did they get for Suarez and Winker? They didn't get much for them either.
Fraley.
Yeah. How'd that turn out?
No. Hey,
was Brandon Williamson in that trade?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I say we're gonna have to do a new Mendoza line, just to answer John.
The Friedel line.
What's the Friedel line? 0.083. You got to hit above 0.083 to get above the Friedel line. Is that what we're doing? Goodness. Yeah. And this is the thing. It's like, this is the life a Reds fan has to live, is that we know we're not going to have Yankees level offense. We know we're not going to have a front office that's like the Brewers or the Tampa Bay Rays. We have to depend on homegrown pitchers, like Austin said, and they have to be perfect to near perfect. And they have to just be, like ability to get enough innings in that our bullpen is not super taxed like it was this year. And then you got to like factor in the fact that injuries, like this team seems to always get, like, I'm sure everyone's dealing with injuries from time to time, but we always seem to, like, Elly got hurt this year. Like, do you think if Elly doesn't get hurt, are we in a better spot, or is it just going to be same old? Because obviously the month of June, we walked in a bunch of guys with the bases loaded as well, and Elly can't do anything about that unless, hey, maybe we can make him a two-way player. Did we ever think of that?
Well, apparently Elly's rest days were him being on the IL because he hasn't rested since he came back.
I have to say, has he even had one day
He had that
off?
DH on the doubleheader.
Jeez.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. But here's your much-needed rest, Elly.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. I
think Stewart's had one day off this year.
Is he really?
Well, they can't afford it.
No, I mean, he's driving in 120 runs this year.
They can't afford to sit Elly and Sal Stewart. They can't afford
If you take Elly and Stewart off this team, they probably have 30 wins.
Oh, I'd drown myself if that happened. I'd drown myself underwater.
Do they have 30 wins if Elly and Sal's not on this roster?
They would break the record. They'd break the record.
It'd be up there. It'd be a Colorado Rockies, Chicago White Sox type season.
Because your most productive hitter would be Tyler Stevenson and Spencer Steer. And I don't know if you saw the report yesterday about Spencer Steer, but like his injury is a potential career-ending injury.
Oh, is it like near the veins in his
It's
arm?
the sheath in his hand, which I guess that controls like motor function and all that stuff. I'm not by any means a medical expert, but I mean he swung and that's what did it. And it's not a ligament, it's not a bone, it's like something else in there. It's hard to explain what happened, but surgery, I mean, they said with surgery he might not ever be the same, and then that's possibly a career-ending injury.
Well, that's just great. Fantastic. Just great.
And it happened 3 days before the trade deadline.
Great.
Right.
Which he was probably going to be gone, right? I figured he would probably be gone if he didn't get hurt. But then again, they didn't really trade anyone on an expiring deal anyway.
Right,
So
yeah.
what do I know?
Yeah.
Caleb Ferguson got us back $250,000 to go sign a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Who probably won't do anything either.
Who could turn into Elly De La Cruz. Just remember that. He could turn into Elly De La Cruz.
The fact they didn't even go looking for him is even more hilarious about that whole deal. They literally were looking at someone else and they just stumbled into Elly.
That sounds like the Red scouting system.
That does sound like it.
Like, oops, we got a.
Oops, we got a star.
Yeah. Well, how come they're not better at that? How come we're picking the wrong players all the time? Why can't we accidentally pick the good players?
And the only reason the Dodgers don't do this is because, well, we'll just take them in 5 years anyway, so we don't need to do all the work. We'll just let the small market teams do all the work. We'll just pay them the money when the time comes.
Yeah.
We're literally a minor league team for these other teams. It's hilarious. Baseball needs so much to change. Oh, hurts my head.
Yeah, I would say I'll put this question out there: Is it better or worse? I'll start Austin. Is it better or worse that the negotiations possibly go in the favor of a healthier baseball system if the Dodgers win, or it doesn't matter? Like we're still kind of up a creek without a paddle type situation. Like should we root for the Dodgers to win this World Series so that everyone's going to be coming out saying, "Man, that's unfair," or what do you think?
I don't even know if that moves the needle really, because like I think we're kind of screwed either way, because it's been clear like for years now that the players union has no interest in a salary cap. So like they're like steadfast in that, even if the Dodgers win, I think, or lose or whatever. It's like I feel like that isn't even a variable for that part of it. So that's the part that stings for me, because I think that's really what kind of ends up needing to happen. And I get it. If you don't want to have, a salary cap, at least have like a salary floor. I mean, that's probably a debate too, just to get like at least like a window of like what teams are spending close to each other. But I don't know. I think, I mean, for me, it just doesn't. I don't think that even if the Dodgers win, it's like you're going to have 2/3 of the league that's already pissed. Like they're not going to change their mind, and the guys at the top are still going to want to spend. And the players union, I think, I mean, they don't need any more evidence that this thing's imbalanced. You know what I mean? Like would that really be like the final straw that breaks the camel's back? It's like, dude, this has been unfair for years. So I don't know. I think regardless of who you root for, the Dodgers have a pretty good chance of winning it all. So I don't know, man. That's the disappointing part for me, but I don't think it really matters, really. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off here soon too, though, guys. But it's been good talking with you. But I'll listen to your guys' responses too. Then I'll drop off.
All right. Thanks, Austin. Sir Boy, does it make a difference if the Dodgers win or lose?
No, in the grand scheme of things, no. I think everyone knows. And honestly, the fans are with the owners this time. They are. They want the salary cap and they want the salary floor. And the problem is with only having a floor, it doesn't stop the Dodgers from spending all the money. They can have the floor at $170 or $180 million all they want, but it will not stop the Dodgers from outspending the other teams by 40%. They can literally come in and name their price, and they'll probably get the free agent. And why wouldn't you? Because then you'd be playing with Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani. They have 3 first-ballot Hall of Famers on their team right now at the top of their lineup. Who wouldn't want to play with that? And I keep hearing about the players will never agree to a salary cap. They'll never agree to a salary cap. Let's see how that changed. Let's see about that fact in about 2 years from now when this league is still locked out. Because the owners are locked. They're steadfast locked in on this. They want that salary cap. And I'm thinking they are willing to go to the ends of the earth to get it into the league. And if it means they got to go multiple years, then so be it. Because at some point, the players are going to need their money. I'm sorry, they're not going to outbid. They're not going to be billionaires. They're not.
Well, this comment is prescient because this is developing news in the last week or so, right, Ricky? Like the sale of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't know if you guys know this. Is the owner Mark Walter, who also owns the Dodgers with Magic Johnson and that conglomerate group or whatever. Sounds like they don't have actual money, and they might be in a situation where there may be some upheaval, and all of a sudden they're probably possibly selling the Dodgers because I don't know if you know this, they got $1 billion in deferred salary on that stupid team in Los Angeles, which seems unfair just on its face, but then also kind of makes you think, oh, maybe the reason why they did that for the Dodgers is because maybe Mark Walter ain't good for that, paying up that money ultimately when it comes due. That being said, as Mr. John Juan says, the Dodgers might be stopping themselves or causing a crater where they're supposedly this team that could, like you say, pay 40% more than anybody else. I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe
they might be telling them what they want to hear. Obviously, it sounds great to live in Los Angeles, right? As opposed to Minnesota in the middle of the winter. But this is what I'm trying to say is that it might be a situation where the salary cap might be best. This works in the NFL to make sure that the owners don't over leverage themselves and spend so much money that they can't afford to run the business properly. So that might be a talking point that
the Dodgers are outspending team. They are spending more money on their tax on the luxury tax threshold than 10 teams entire payroll.
But are they good for it? Mark Walter might be just, a bunch of crypto money or whatever his investments
are. And that's all well and good, but who's to stop the next guy to come in and do the same damn thing that he's doing?
Well, if you follow the NBA, it's
his situation is he owns an insurance company, and the insurance company is kind of laundering money into his team. And there's like a big scheme going on between the insurance company and the Dodgers. And I guess a lot of the investment groups that are supposed to be paying these people are also tied to these insurance companies and all these other entities that just, they're making their own money. It's weird. It's a very weird situation. And I think the only way, honestly, that I guess if you were to make it fair for the other teams is if you do an NFL kind of collective bargaining where all the teams share TV rights. And obviously you can make it to where the Dodgers make, 10% more than the Marlins, or whatever. I mean, Miami's kind of a weird excuse because they have a very large media market. They just don't have the fan base to show up.
Yeah.
Or, Tampa or Minnesota, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, teams like that, Baltimore. Those teams could make a fraction less than the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Phillies, Houston, like those kind of teams. It's just, I guess to answer your question, to put it on me, is like, if the Dodgers win, I think that seals the deal. I think the other owners are going to go, okay, these guys have won 3 straight and they've won 3 out of the last 6. And there's no way that we can, afford to keep players the way these guys keep players. And 2, we're not going to be able to, I mean, they just throw away prospects like it's nothing because they can just go get another one. And, if the Dodgers wanted to, they could trade 3 players right now and get a significant haul and then just go sign 2 other players to fill it out. It's crazy how they can run it. They always have one of the top farm systems. They've always got the highest payroll. It's like it's like playing MLB The Show, like no budgets, trade logic turned off. And you can just go trade for whoever you want. Like they just go out and they get Tarek Skubal from Detroit
For
for
nothing.
what, their second ranked prospect and their 10th ranked prospect, when I guess I forget what was it, the Blue Jays, or I forget what team it was, that it might have been the Brewers, offered a significantly higher trade package to Detroit, and they said no, we're hell bent on sending him to the Dodgers. And I don't know, man. It's just the Dodgers seem to do whatever they want. They can do anything and everything. And it's not like a boo-hoo where the Reds, we can't sign these guys, but it's like, there's other teams out there too that can't get these players either. I mean, look at Game 7 of the World Series. They had Blake Snell and Yamamoto pitch from the 7th inning into extras. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, pretty unfair.
And I'll leave you guys on this. The Dodgers also fleeced the Reds on the Gavin Lux for Sirota deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that just adds salt
Stop
into the
it.
wound. But hey, I'm out, guys. Thanks for having me on,
thanks,
though, guys. I'll
Austin.
see y'all
Thanks,
later.
brother.
Later, Austin.
Yep.
See you, man. Yeah, the Reds front office again coming to not their rescue, I guess, or they coming to screw them again. And then we can get into the whole Alexis Diaz fiasco and all that, and that's another Dodgers trade and everything. But
That's
I don't know. From here, where do we go, guys? Like, I know we don't know if there's a 2027 season, but is there any quick thing that the Reds can do from either now until the end of this year or now until the start of the next season that would make you feel more confident in this organization?
Yeah, I could name a few. Fire Chris Valleca.
Okay.
You DFA TJ Friedel. You bring up Noelvi Marte. You start him every day in center field for the rest of the season. You put Hector Rodriguez in left field every single day, and you put JJ Bleday in right field every single day, and that's your outfield from here on out. 2, I bring back up Edwin Arroyo, and I DH Elly and Suarez. And when Ellie's DHing, you put McLean at shortstop, you put Arroyo at second base, and Arroyo plays every single day, either at short, second, or DH. And then you probably go ahead and just sit Chase Burns. As hard as that is to swallow. But I bring up 2 fringe major league pitchers that are, in their 30s. I know they just DFA'd that guy they just signed out of the
Kent Emanuel's back.
Kent Emanuel
today. He pitched
okay,
today.
well, you just leave him up. Leave him up. He's your 5th starter. Put Chase Petty in the rotation. Sit Chase Burns, and you just ride it out. And you give Edwin Arroyo the playing time he needs to develop. You give Hector Rodriguez the playing time he needs to develop. You give Marte the reps in center field for the last 20 games or whatever, 30 games. And you go, okay, if Marte doesn't show me anything, then he's gone in the offseason. If McLean doesn't show me anything, then he's gone in the offseason. If Arroyo doesn't show me anything, he's in AAA next year. I just you can't say what you have when you don't play what you think you have.
Yeah. Sir Boy, is there any certain move or a certain number of moves that would make you more confident in this organization that they can do right now?
Going back in a time machine and wishing none of these guys came except for Elly, and
You go back to May 2023.
Back to the 12-game win streak. Yeah.
Yeah, you go back to May
Go back to that.
2023.
No, actually, no. I was just thinking about that.
You
But,
stop Matt McLean from
would-
diving for that ball.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Ricky. No, actually, you know what I would do? I would bring Edwin Arroyo up. I'd put him at short, and I would put Elly at third. I would tell Elly, you know what? I know you want to play short, but your best position's third base, and I will die on that hill that his best position is third base. The year he came up his rookie year and played third base, I want to say he committed 2 errors in about 39, 40 games. And I understand it's a small sample size, but from what I've seen with my own eyes, he was more comfortable. He was more sure of himself. His range was just as good, if not better, over there. He's a shortstop. He's a third baseman playing shortstop. And I've always felt that way since he came up. Yeah, I think he's a way better shortstop or third baseman than he is a shortstop. And that's honestly what I would do.
Yeah.
He committed one error at third base in 23.
In how many games?
32.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the arm strength as well. It's not like he's got a problem throwing across the diamond. Obviously, he's got that. But yeah, that'd be interesting if they go that route, because obviously we know putting him in center field is not.
I don't think it would work. I really don't. Not every guy is an out. Look what we've done with these guys they've tried to commit to play in the outfield. Steer's not an outfielder. I like Steer a lot. He's not an outfielder. Noel Marte, not an outfielder. Matt McClain, not an outfielder.
Are you sure? Seems like he was doing great back there.
Oh, I love the days of Matt McClain in center field. Great.
Where did that ball go? I don't know. I forget what game that was. That he just lost. Anyway, yeah, that's
what I would do. That's what I would do.
I say the only thing that gets me back confidence wise, they fire the front office. Like just confidence wise.
I didn't want to go there.
You're right. Yeah. Well, you're right.
I actually am not. I don't think I'm silly. I don't think Nick Krall's back. I don't think he's back after the cheer.
The joke
when you have Marty Brennaman openly saying that his time is short, I think there's merit to that. I really do.
I hate to go back to David Bell again, but they fired him a year into his extension, his brand new 3-year extension. They're willing to fire guys if it's necessary. So everyone's like, oh, he does what they want him to do. Oh, he's the voice of the owner. And it's like, no, they literally fired their manager a year into his brand new extension. They are willing to let guys go. I mean, let's look at all the dead money they were paying to Candelario and Mike Moustakas and Shogo Akiyama. They were paying them guys still on their deal, even when they cut them.
Yeah,
they're willing.
Keep Brian Hayes. Don't forget about it. They're going to eat his money. I bet. Keep Brian Hayes.
I think they give him another year though.
Maybe.
Got to what, 2030?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody's crazy enough to trade for Keith Brian Hayes just based off his defense?
The Reds would have to pay all the money, I bet.
Yeah, it'd have to be. They'd have to ship him off to like Colorado. You know what I mean? Like somewhere where. Or Washington, where they have.
We said that about Will Benson, and nobody claimed him as a waiver claim.
But I don't think
we were saying, somebody like Colorado is going to take a chance on him, and not a single team claimed him.
I don't think people value Will Benson as much as Reds fans do.
I would say, who's younger?
Some media outlets around here. I'm not going to name any names.
No, I won't name. Yeah, much respected in the business.
Who's younger, Benson or CES? Is it just coming down to that, where Benson's got a lot more tape and a lot more years on him?
Don't even get me started on CES. He had 3 options left. Like, why are we DFAing a guy who has options?
Yeah.
Because Michael Chavis is the everyday third baseman in Louisville. That's why. Saving space for him.
Ivan too. Shout out to him. My great contributor, Ivan Johnson.
No, there's so much.
I say you bring up Jay Allen, you bring up Austin Hendrick, you bring up.
And shout out to my guy Jay Allen.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Austin Hendrick. He was doing so well.
I was saying, Ricky, do we give you the floor? What are your thoughts about Austin Hendrick getting sent down to Double-A?
He played long enough at Triple-A to where I was able to buy his jersey.
Is that hang the banner, hang the jersey?
That's for me.
In the Raptors?
I probably said this a million times, but I think I'll go down as the biggest Austin Hendricks stan that there is. And, if he tears it up in Double-A again, gets hot, who's to say he doesn't get. Maybe he's one of those stories you hear about 6 or 7 years as a lifelong minor leaguer who gets a chance to play at the major league level, and maybe he goes and hits a home run in his first at bat, and that's all he is. Maybe that's all we get to see out of him. But I think I've said this a billion times, but the way the 2020 draft fell, him being a junior in high school, not getting to play his senior year in high school, he doesn't get a first year in the professional ranks due to the pandemic. That's 2 years of development that he'll never get back, right? Like he's basically 2 years behind.
He got the short end of the stick.
He did, and there wasn't a lot of players.
I know. I was gonna say, who in that 2020 draft actually panned out?
Jordan Walker.
Wasn't what's his name? Now he's a Crochet. Wasn't Crochet picked right before Austin or right after Austin Hendrick?
I think so.
But
They shortened that draft. There was a whole ordeal with that draft. You know, he probably had a lot of recruitment issues due to.
Well, he was a high school player too.
Yeah, so he probably had a lot of recruitment issues due to not playing his senior year. Because it's not like he can go back to high school, you know. Like it's unfortunate. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I feel for him, you know. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and play. You're a professional now. You've been a professional for the past 6 years, and you know, there's that. But
yeah, it also brings up like what is his name? That pitcher, Ty. What's his name?
Ty Floyd.
Ty Floyd, because he was what, the number 2 behind Skeens at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked he hasn't done better than he's done.
Injuries, man.
Injuries for him. He started his career like 4 or 5 times in the time he's been up in the org. Especially this year. This year he's been hurt, I think, twice, and had to. I think he was last seen, I think, in Dayton, pitching for them.
All right, the second half of the show is Minor League Monday.
All right.
Justin LeBron is going to be a star.
Oh my God, he's killing it.
That was the take I was going to say. Is that the confidence I want? The confidence pick or the confidence move for this organization is to fire Nick Kroll and Brad Meador, but Justin LeBron's saving their jobs because now the casting.
Yeah, but that's not really them though. That's the scouting department. That is oh God, what is his name?
They're the ones above them, right? Like they're the. I know they're not director of scouting, but like they're in charge of that. They're above them, right?
Yeah,
like
development. Big league team too, and they're going to have to take their medicine for that at some point. I mean, because it's been a failure.
If they can separate, I guess, like you said, Ricky, the director of the player development,
Jeremy Farrell. Jeremy Farrell is the guy who's in charge of player development and drafting.
So if anything, I guess Jeremy's still going to have a job. Hopefully, you know, Nick and Brad are.
2021 is when he took over, and look at the draft picks they've had since.
They've killed it.
Okay.
Of all the things they've done, they've at least killed their first round.
Sal Stewart, Chase Burns, Rhett Lauder, Steele Halls looked really good. I'm just naming first round picks. Justin LeBron. Who am I missing? There's another year.
You said 21. It wasn't Collier with the comp pick.
Collier was the 18th pick. Sal Stewart was the comp pick that year. Collier technically reclassified. He was 17 when they drafted him. Same with Steele Hall. So I can kind of give Collier a little leeway on his development. Also, the injury last year doesn't help with the hand. Not great. He had a hitting streak going for a little bit, but it's been relatively down. And then some guys we were really hoping to would be bullpen pitchers this year. Trevor Kunsel, he unfortunately had to undergo a UCL surgery, so he's going to be out all next year.
Tell you what, if you're going to have Tommy John surgery, this is the year to have it.
Yeah. So. Like a gap year. Just
I mean, think about it. Like $100,000, it's perfect for him. Perfect. He don't have to coming back. He don't have to worry about it next year at all. It's great. If you're gonna have Tommy John, if you're gonna have anything that's gonna keep you out for another year, this is the time to have it.
I wonder if that is like part of the calculus in going in and getting surgery. I mean, obviously, if it's needed, it's needed. But like you said, not necessarily the worst year to get it because you'll have a whole year potentially to recover and not miss any games. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy that worked out that way for Hunter Green. But
so a little background on Jeremy Farrell. He worked for the Chicago Cubs for 6 years. He was an infield coordinator from 2018 to 2021. He was a minor league hitting coach from 2015 to 2017. He was a field coordinator, infield coordinator, and assistant director of baseball development for the Cubs from 2019 to 2021. Had some pretty good prospects coming up in that time frame. They've had some pretty good minor league players in that time frame. So I feel confident in him being here. He's been with the team for 4 years now. Hopefully he doesn't hit that 6-year threshold and leave. He could be a guy that you could see move up into a higher role. If we move on, I would love to see some outside movement. I know everybody wants to scream, bring in somebody from Milwaukee, bring in somebody from Tampa. But if you could bring in, a lower level minor league coordinator from the Dodgers, bring in a minor league coordinator from Houston, Texas, some of these teams that have done well in the draft, like I'm okay with not going Milwaukee and Miami and Tampa. Just because Tampa's situation is such a oddball, they're like one of the only teams that can not extend players, trade players at the right time, and it works out in their favor. It's just unfortunate the one guy that they actually went and extended went and had what he had happen. And the details of that are so spotty that we'll probably never know the truth and what happened with that. The mother in that situation is a scumbag. So that is part of it. But it doesn't excuse the fact that what he did. They got lucky that they were able to go get Junior Caminero, and he could be that replacement for what he was. But could you imagine Tampa if they had Caminero and Wander Franco? Like that team would be, gosh, man, that the hitting on that team would be unbelievable. And
then Jeff Passan or Passan, whatever, had told a story recently that in the offseason that Shohei Ohtani was going to leave the Angels, that the Tampa Bay Rays put a package together to potentially land Shohei Ohtani. Like, can you imagine that combination of players just in Tampa Bay? Not that they could afford it, obviously, the way that it all went down, but that was kind of like a part of it. I think maybe they're going to trade.
Here's this though, too. Like Tampa's eventually going to move to Tampa proper. They're going to leave St. Pete, and that's a much larger market, and it's a much easier travel for their fans to get to the ballpark. I wouldn't rule it out that they could have got some kind of deal done to sign him. It wouldn't have been 10 years, $700 million, but it could have been, I don't know, 15 years, something.
Just defer all the money. That's what the Dodgers do.
Yeah, when you look at how they deferred money, like the Reds were like the king of deferred money for so long.
Yeah.
So
what about Bobby Bonilla?
It seems so realistic that the Reds could get a deal done.
Griffey Jr. Shout out to my man.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That contract is finally done.
Finally.
And it's funny, his contract literally is not even that big of a deal.
No.
6 years, $100 million or whatever it was, or 10 years, $100 million. That's like chump.
Yeah, it's gotten crazy, gotten out of hand, and that's crazy. The stat you said, Ricky, that we basically signed Chase Burns to the Homer Bailey contract, and Homer Bailey, what did he sign that back in 2010?
Yeah, 2011, 2010.
That's crazy. That's good for Bob, I guess, saving money on future potential. Like Burns is probably going to be worth twice that contract. If he pitches the way he is right now,
Yeah, but like with I'll say this too about Castellini. When the team does good, he raises the ticket prices just enough to where fans aren't going to throw an outrage about it, and people still show up to the ballpark. Like 2023, fans were piling in. I mean, they were selling out near the end of the year. I mean, I went September 1st when I remember this vividly. I think we were down 2-0 against the Cubs, and it was the bottom of the ninth, and Reds legend Nick Martini came up to the plate. Tied the game on a 2-run homer, and then Noelvi Marte got his first walk-off hit. Yep. I mean, that stadium erupted.
I was there.
Yeah. I mean, I was on the first baseline. That stadium erupted because it was a packed house. We had hopes of making the playoffs, and the youth movement that we had, and Marte being the youngest of that group and just being promoted just weeks before that he probably shouldn't have even came up that year, and they did it out of desperation, really. And he goes out there and hits a single up the middle and a score. Stewart Fairchild from third, and that was electric. And Elly hitting for the cycle that year.
That's one of the best crowd atmospheres.
I mean,
and I was at Game 3 and Game 5 before the whole debacles began, and I thought those were great crowd experience. No, that cycle, that is going to be hard. That will be a hard one to top. That will be a hard one.
Yeah, this is where we're at. Is we're reminiscing about 2023. And wishing for those days.
I mean, I could reminisce about 2010 for a little bit, just because that was one of the most exciting years I've ever seen as a fan. I just got out of high school.
About 2012. That's how I feel about 2012.
Well, 2010 for me, I was a senior in high school, exiting spring training, and I graduated that June. And I'll never forget, man. I was at that game. It was September 11th. They had Pete Rose at the ballpark. They were celebrating him breaking the record. Yep. And, all the legends were there. Joe Morgan was there. Johnny Bench was there. Eric Davis. The grade 8 was basically there. And I remember, I think it was Edinson Volquez started. And it was against the Pirates. We go to extras because the Pirates that year were the second place team in the division. And I remember that was the year Votto hit his first career walk-off home run. Mm-hmm. And that was back when we were selling out every game. I bought standing room tickets with my mom. And we wandered from first base concourse to the mist under the power stacks. Then we wandered over by the Reds bullpen. I kind of knew a little bit of Spanish back then. I was talking to Aroldis Chapman in the bullpen. He was really surprised that this really weird-looking white dude could speak Spanish. And bottom of the 10th comes up, and I just remember MVP chants just erupting for Votto. And he comes up and just typical Joey Votto fashion, man. Opposite field, left field. Lands like 7 rows in front of us. We were standing at the top row underneath the upper deck. And funny enough, a friend that I work with was actually at that game too. I found out later on. But it felt like an earthquake, man. That, to me, was the greatest crowd experience I've ever had at that ballpark. And I've been to games ever since 2003 when they opened. Just the energy, the hope, the Votto doing Votto things with a above average pitching staff that was developing in Homer Bailey, Volquez. You had some older guys in that mix too, Bronson Arroyo. And knowing that we were going to win the division, I think it was that game we went 7 games up in the Central that game.
Yep.
And just the energy, man, just the fireworks, and then going back and watching it on the broadcast, listening to George Grand's call of that game. Everything about that atmosphere to me was like peak Reds. And then it disappeared after 2012. It just, 2011, there were some injuries. They never really took that leap. And 2011 was like 2024 for the Reds.
Basically, they came back down to earth a little bit.
They did.
They were like
Votto dealt with some stuff. I think his dad passed away that year, and he was going through some stuff. He was on the IL for a while. Jay Bruce never really took the leap. And then 2012 happens, and to me, that's like the
peak. They get Matt Latos.
Yeah, I mean, we traded 2 top prospects for a stud pitcher.
Bonnie Grandal.
And Yonder Alonso for Matt Latos. And
because Yonder Alonso was a first baseman, and we had Votto, and we had just signed Votto to we were getting ready to sign Votto to a long-term extension. So we weren't going to keep Yonder Alonso because he really couldn't play anywhere else.
Yeah, he couldn't play third, and he couldn't play left.
He couldn't play left. He was terrible.
And 2012 happens. You jump out to a 2-0 lead on San Francisco, and you think, all right, we just got to win one
And
game at
Homer
home.
Bailey comes in game 3 and throws the game of his life through 7 innings.
Yeah.
Struck out like 8. It was insane. But it all happened, and this is where it changed. When Brandon decided to try to extend and go to third base on a pass ball that he had no business going to third base on, he gets thrown out by 5 feet. And that was it. The momentum was gone. Giants had all the momentum because then when they got to the top of the 10th, what the most sure-handed third baseman of all time, at least that I've seen in my lifetime, Scott Rowland, what does he do? Bobbles the ball, and they can't complete the out at first. And they score another run, and they win that game 2-1. And it was gone. I as soon as it happened, I'm thinking to myself, they might have just pissed away this series based off of that because they had all the momentum. They went out to San Francisco. They beat the crap out of the Giants, who had the MVP, Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, who was a damn good third baseman at the time. Hunter Pence was brought in to help that team. Madison Bumgarner, Barry Zito, Sergio Romo. I mean, the list goes on. But it was gone. Once Brandon got thrown out, because then Bruce, I'm trying to think who was at the plate. I want to say Bruce was at the plate. I think he scored the first run, drove in the first run, and Brandon would have been the second run to come in. And if that's the case, you don't go to extras and they win the series. They sweep them. And it's just, as soon as that happened, it was over. Now, the reason why I think 2012 is so special, that was the year they decided to make a roll. So at the beginning of the year, Sean Marshall was their closer. They brought him in from Chicago, signed him to a 2-year deal. He was going to be their closer. And he was good for the first 8. He got 8 appearances. He blew, I want to say he blew the first series. He blew one of the save opportunities. And then I want to say he got hurt. And I think they put him on the IL. And at this time, Aroldis was still just a back-end reliever. He wasn't a closer yet. When they made him the closer, that's when that bullpen changed. And that's when everything clicked from the starting staff to the bullpen. Because they knew you got to lead in the 9th inning. 9 times out of 10, Aroldis Chapman's going to come in and save it. And I cannot stress this enough. When Aroldis Chapman would come out from the 9th inning, it was like a damn concert. It was great. Rage Against the Machine was going. The fireworks were going. The crowd was loud. I mean, because no one – guys can throw 100. That goes without saying. No one is touching 105, 104 consistently like Aroldis Chapman was in his prime. Aroldis Chapman, outside of Mariano Rivera, in my opinion, is one of the greatest closers ever. There will never be another Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
But that's special. That team was special.
Yeah, man. We're in the reminiscing hour of our fandom right now because that's all we got right now is our memories, right? Man, I'm not trying to bring down the mood, but it's good to feel that we can have those memories, have those moments that coulda, woulda, shoulda, but like, man, we want more of that, right? Like we want to be talking about 2010 and 2012 and, stats.
I'm tired of hearing about the Big Red Machine too. I'm tired of it. It's time to make new moments. And that ballpark, unfortunately, has not had a lot of great moments.
They haven't advanced. Yeah.
Also horrors.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you can say the curse of Marge Schott, but she never saw that stadium. She wasn't the owner then. So, like, I don't know. Like, we're going to get in a situation where, like, what we got going for us and hopefully maybe a playoff run here and there in the next couple of years. I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting. Crossroads, like you said, for this organization. For baseball.
Crossroads, in my opinion.
Yeah, for baseball in general at that crossroads, there's a lot of things that could, like the conversation we have a year from now, could be totally different. I don't know what it's going to look like.
And it better be. I'll tell you right now, if they go through this lockout and then they decide that we're just going to keep everything the same that it is, then it's like, what are we doing? And it's like, okay, so you're telling me I'm supposed to just be okay with what's going on. We just be a feeder team for all these big market teams, and I'm just supposed to take it?
Yeah. The thing is not talked about enough that I feel like should be a talking point as well. You know who's coming out against the salary cap? Like who's
the top 1% of players. And
Bryce Harper.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Everyone talks about how the players are for the fans. The players do not give a shit about the fans. They don't. I'm sorry. When it comes to their bottom line, they care more about their bottom line than the fans. I'm sorry. That's the truth. It's the same with the owners. The owners care about their bottom line. Don't sit there and tell me the players care more about the fans than their own money. They don't.
No, absolutely not. But a byproduct.
Fine. The players owe me nothing. They don't. In all reality, they do not. And I'm not like they shouldn't be kissing our rear ends or whatever and bowing down to us. But don't sit there and tell me they're all about the fans. They're not. They do good things. Like they during COVID, I think they donated like $1 million to each team to help pay their employees because they'd have to be laid off during COVID because remember the ballparks were closed and everything was short staffed, which is great. And that's all well and good. But do not sit there and tell me that the league can continue down this road that they're going down right now. It is not sustainable. You are going to turn off 90% of the fan base by the way it's going with the structure of baseball. It is not sustainable. It cannot continue down this road.
That's the way they can show that they care, is that they get to a resolution quicker than they expected, which is who knows.
And I'm sorry. Oh, we're not going to accept the salary cap under any circumstances. That's
negotiation tactic. They're going to press these owners for every penny they can get. It's like every negotiation with labor. You tell labor you're not going to do
but they care about the fans though. That's right. I'm wrong. I know nothing.
No,
the players care all about the fans. Yeah.
No, the way they can show it is if they get to some sort of middle ground, to say the least. I don't know.
Players can talk a big game all they want. Let's see how they feel in 2 years from now. I'd love to hear them talk a big game then. Maybe Bryce Harper will flip off the commissioner again.
I don't know.
I can't believe he got away with that crap. That's insane. Still.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to end it, man.
Bryce Harper flipping off the fans.
Yeah, just thanks for everybody for tuning in. If everybody, you and Austin for showing up, Doug for showing up, talking with us, and remember we are a podcast. We're in podcast form. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeart. We do have a ticket giveaway going on. As hard as it is to promote it, we do have a ticket giveaway.
No, we're not going to pay you to go to this game, so don't even.
You are getting a bobblehead if you get there on time, so that's that. You do get $20 in food credit for sitting in the optics section, and then also shout out our sponsors, FrostBuddy and Mudwater. I have my FrostBuddy every day, and what do you got, Roger?
Well, I mean, hopefully, this podcast will continue into a certain 2027. We appreciate everyone that supported so far. I don't know, man. We're gonna have to we'll have to find out like what we're gonna talk about in these next couple weeks. Probably, like you said, probably gonna have Matt McClain play shortstop and Elly De La Cruz at third base. That's something to talk about, I guess.
Chase Burns being shut down and everything else, but
yeah.
But
yeah, until then, go Reds.
Go Reds.
White flag.